My name is Padmini Nidumolu, and I'm the co-founder of Lean and Agile for Women. This initiative was founded to raise the floor for women, where women come together, offer to each other, seek from each other, celebrate each other, and recognize the part that we play in each other's lives and professions. So, as part of this initiative, we launched an effort called LIA100 to celebrate, recognize the efforts and challenges of 100 fantastic women and 100 among many. This is just the first wave that we are launching. So, this is LIA100, and we bring Agilists from across the world who are passionate about agile, who are passionate about making space for themselves, who have overcome challenges, who have overcome struggles, and just chose to see the brighter part of the whole journey. And as part of that, today we have Nchimunya Kabunda, originally from Zambia, in fact. And I've read up about Zambia. It's a land of incredible wildlife and beautiful Victoria Falls, of course, they share with Zimbabwe. Chimunia is right now living in Ghana, based on her job and her husband's job, but she's originally from the beautiful Zambia. A little bit about Chimunia. She's a transformative information systems specialist. She has over a decade of industry experience. She has extensive knowledge of managing information systems, resulting in high availability, functionality, and better decision making. Her focus has been on data analysis, Scrum Agile management, strategy planning, and optimizing IT systems infrastructure, and network analysis and management. She's a critical thinker, a very quick learner, mindful, great communicator, motivator, and she's very comfortable working with systems, projects, and teams in a range of IT environments, which is pretty exciting. And above and beyond everything that she does, she's contributing tremendously to raising the floor for Agilists back in Zambia, and she's very closely involved with Agilists in Ghana. And of course, she plans to bring much more to our community. Welcome, Chimunia. How are you?
Thank you so much, Pandamini, for this opportunity. Well, thank you.
We are honored to have you absolutely on this platform. And as we were chatting, before we started this interview, we really want more women from all continents, really, right? Um, I think it starts in a small way, but it expands itself tremendously because of women like you. So we need this movement, we need this momentum to really happen. So having said that, Chimunia, could you share a little bit about your first background of what made you enter this field, right? To join the community of evangelists, and how has the journey been so far?
So my journey actually started here in Ghana. And the reason being that I was in search of a job. And when I was talking to my colleagues, I shared how um, I had a big no for a dream job that I was expecting. And this was a very critical moment in my career. And I decided to share it with a close colleague of mine. And through that journey, she actually advised me to say, why don't you try Scrum? And I had no idea what Scrum was all about. So I decided to do my own research and look into what Scrum is, what Agile is. And the first thing I did was to look for a community. I, from the time that I was a child, I think I thrive on my community, and it's always easy for me to get into communities and find like-minded people and build on that. So I did exactly that. So after doing that, I became involved in the Agile community here in Ghana. I attended meetups, and I met a very inspirational Agilist here in Ghana called Kweku. And Kweku was very instrumental in my journey. He was offering these meetups that were physical. And then COVID hit and the meetups stopped. And I was just getting to the rhythm of those meetups. So after that, everything just went quiet, and I had this passion to know what Agile is and to learn. So I decided to ask Kweku if he was doing any online meetings, and he told me, yes, everything is in the pipeline and we're thinking of doing that. So I put my ears to the ground, and eventually the meetups started online, and I was very diligent. I attended every meetup and got to connect with people who were like-minded. Some of them were already they had advanced experience in Agile, and some of them were beginners like myself. So I think it was a very good platform for me to learn, and I was encouraged by that. But I kept on hearing about people getting certified, and I was thinking, I'm not certified. What do I do to upgrade myself to get certified and just learn the ropes of being an Agilist and actually having the knowledge, the practical knowledge of being an Agilist? So that's how I decided to look into my learning path of being an Agilist. And that's how my journey began. And from there onwards, it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey that I cannot look back.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Right.
And most journeys begin like that, right? Humble beginnings, and often at a crossroads where we are thinking which road to take. And
Yep.
it is always pleasantly surprising how somebody just comes to the rescue. Somebody just comes in and puts that word, right? And the thought, and there's no looking back. I can definitely relate to that. It's happened to me several times. That's really incredible, Chimunia. And I think specifically, you've originally from Zambia, you moved to Ghana, and you followed your path, wherever your husband's work took you. I think you've been trying to carve your own space there. Can you share a little bit about how difficult it was to really find your footing, in Ghana, and moving from Zambia? I think it offered a little bit of instability at the beginning, but you seem to have found your ground now. How challenging was it?
So the thing is, moving from one place to another, you really need to understand the different cultures of the people that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And for me, culture was one big issue that I needed to deal with. So before we moved to Ghana, we had moved to a French speaking country, and I had very minimal French. And I had to immerse into the French culture to start with and learn the language, learn how French people do stuff and how they communicate and generally how they live. That was very difficult for me. And actually, it pushed us to move to Ghana because I thought, how am I going to advance my career in a French speaking country? And the level of proficiency they were asking for was too high for me to just jump from zero to the level of proficiency every employer was asking for. So that actually gave me a lot of thinking. That included a lot of disappointment. I thought I was working, I left a job, and I come into a French speaking environment and I have no idea what to do. So my husband and I sat down and thought through, because I thought I also want to advance my career. How do we do it? So we decided to move to an English speaking country. And when I moved to Ghana, even in as much as Ghana is an English speaking country, Zambia is an English speaking country, things are done differently. So boom, culture again. I had to start learning how things are done, how people relate, how I can be a part of the community. And through learning the different rubs of people, understanding people, empathizing with people, giving them the respect they deserve for who they are, I have found my feet, if I may say so. I have found my feet. It has been, it has become lighter to navigate through the different cultures, and to find a community that is accepting, a community that will respect you for who you are, a community that is open, a community that is that will give you value. So for me, the cultural aspect has been very instrumental, and the way I've navigated through it is to respect, understand, and to be open about my own values, because obviously my values are different because I come from a different place.
Right.
So by me being open, I have found a meeting place and a common ground with all these other people that I'm dealing with. And I think that's how come I'm thriving. And I have learned to lean on the community as well. So I have been leaning on the community, the Agile community here in Ghana, and it's been a wonderful journey. And that's why I'm sitting here today. It all started from the community here.
Yeah. You touched on so many points I'm trying to sink in, and so many profound points, Chimunya. So the first one, which really struck me, was leaning in, right? When
Right,
you move into a different culture, and I think this is true for organizations as well. When you move from organization to organization, organizational culture is just different, very different. So I think leaning into the community right there to understand, and another point that you brought up, which is respect, right?
right,
Respect for where they are, respect for where they are coming from, and respecting your own position, meanwhile, and
right,
understanding that they're different, and understanding that they can still coexist respectfully. I think that was a very profound insight you brought in. So thank you for that, because I was just drawing a parallel to jumping from one organization to another organization. How do you find your feet? Right? It's different culture, different language, organizational language, if you will,
right,
and personalities, different challenges. So those two are very valuable. Respect and leaning in, because I think that's the community who will support
right,
you. Yeah.
right.
And can you share a little bit about how the community, Agile community, is in Ghana and Zambia? Because at least I have not seen, I would say, the level of or extent of participation from these areas, these countries, in the global perspective. And one of the efforts of Lean and Agile is to bring in more women, right, among others. So I think, if you can shed some light on how is the community coming together, what are some of the activities that are happening today in the Agile community, and how might the global community support so it can even accelerate further?
So what really prompted me to give back to my community, that is back in Zambia, was I was involved in the Agile 20 Reflect Festival. And I had a choice. My husband is from North America, and I'm originally from Zambia, living in Ghana. So I had a choice, either to represent North America, or to represent Ghana, or to represent Zambia. But I chose to represent, to become an ambassador for Zambia for one simple reason. There was not so much going on in the Agile space in Zambia. And I thought, how do I give back to my community? And I decided, let me be an ambassador to, um, let me be the Zambian ambassador for the Agile 20 Reflect. And through that engagement, I was able to assess the level of involvement in Agile for Zambia. And it was very, very minimal. It was difficult for me to create events for the festival. But eventually I got to realize that there were a few of them that were not living in Zambia, and they were part of the Agile community. So I decided to tap from those people and just say, can we build the Zambian community? Let's start building on making the community big. Because if we don't do it, nobody is going to do it for us. So I pioneered that, and we started creating events for Zambia. And we did get some visibility. We did get some visibility. Apart from getting visibility, we were actually also learning. And for me, what the festival did for me was to grow me. I was learning and doing at the same time. So apart from doing that, it actually gave me that confidence and getting out of my comfort zone and just be brave to share what I knew, to share what I got from different Agilists, and to try and grow the community. And I'm happy to tell you, Padmini, that slowly the community is growing. We have events happening now in Zambia, Agile events. Yes, we have events. We had a women's event through PMI even. So we had an event that I was invited to speak with the PMI chapter in Zambia. And I think that has has gained traction. And from that, we're building on different events to grow the community. And another aspect that I have spearheaded is to have workshops. And like you said, all you have to do is teach about Scrum. What is Scrum? And the community will grow, the community will learn. And awareness and education has been the biggest problem in Zambia when it comes to Agile. So I'm spearheading that as well, create workshops for people to learn. It can be basic Agile, but people that will spark interest for people to engage, to learn, and to have that continuous conversation, and eventually to have that bigger conversation and be a part of world conversations that are happening in the Agile space.
That is, I mean, I was getting goosebumps when you talked about it. This is so inspiring, right? You're living in another country, and you're creating this movement, this traction, this acceleration in the country
Right.
that you're from, and connecting with
Right.
various people who have left Zambia and who
Yes.
who have the potential to contribute. And
Right.
you have brought that community together, and now the meetups are happening, and you're seeing that movement. This is not an easy task by any stretch of imagination. You're talking about a community in a country while you're not living in that country. That is just very inspiring, and I wish you all the success and all the best with that endeavor. And we will be sure to include and be inclusive when global events are happening. Of course, Agile 20 Reflect is a great example of an
Right.
inclusive celebration. I think they have made every effort to bring inclusiveness, to the front and center of the festival. This is
Right.
fantastic, Nchimunya. And I want to touch on another aspect of, it's a cultural aspect. I'm from India originally, and the cultures are different. Some cultures are very patriarchal. Some cultures are very conservative, right? Um, I'm not sure of the cultural backdrop itself, that you operated or are operating from, but are there any challenges or any insights that you would like to share, especially for women to step up into leadership spaces like you did, right? You just conceived the idea, you stepped up, and here it is. How is it in general in Ghana, in Zambia, for women to step up and make it happen as leaders?
I think the first thing is you have to be bold. You have to step out of your comfort zone, and that's what that's what happened to me. I had to step out of my comfort zone, and all that I learned from being in West Africa. Yes, being in West Africa, I couldn't continue being in my little comfort zone and do my thing. I had to get out of that and see the world. And what that has done for me is to learn, to be a continuous learner, because I have noticed the world doesn't stop. So apart from being bold, we we have to lean into the community. How do we do that? You have to learn and understand the community that you're in. And even if you're not getting value immediately, you can give back to that community. And that's what I did. I I decided to get involved in mentoring young girls to get into STEM. And all I did was show up. And that's what I would tell women: show up. You cannot be given a seat at the table if you don't show up. So I was showing up for whatever event that was happening. My field is IT, and I would go to different IT events and I would just show up, have conversations with people that I had no idea who they were, but it I touched lives without knowing. And that's how come I started mentoring girls. So in as much as I was looking for value in the community, I was ready to give back to the community. So we we as women, I think, have to show up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are. We have the capability as women to learn and to have that humanity in us, because we deal with children. How do you deal with children? How do you deal with other human beings? Actually, it's not only children. How do you deal with other human beings? And the reason why I'm saying that is we are the center of, there's a saying in Africa that says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. If you educate a woman, you educate the whole village.
Yes.
So please, let's show up as women. And my mantle right now, the mantle I'm holding in my hand, is to shine Africa in the agile space, is to let that light shine on Africa. And how am I going to do that? I cannot do it by myself. So that's how I'm involved in the community in Zambia, the community here in Ghana, and the community in North America, and anywhere else where I can network and collaborate with other people. So
Yeah.
for me, the big thing is, let's show up, let's learn from other people, and we have to take all the lessons and build our communities. And when we build those communities, we will build a better world to live in.
Wow. Chimunya, I usually ask all my interviewees for a short message at the end of the interview. I usually say, hey, what have you got? Can you just tell us something that you live by? And I was thinking as you're talking, I don't even need to ask you that because I think everything that you said, if I can package it and look at it, each of them can be a message in itself. It's just so incredibly powerful. Something that you just said, which is simply show up, right? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be
Right,
the know it all. You don't have to,
right,
do it all. You just need to show up. Because another thing that you said was so powerful. If you don't show up, you can't demand a seat at the table.
no,
The
not
seat
at all.
comes with a commitment. The seat comes with integrity. The seat comes with the need to show up. And that's what you've
Right,
done for your community. That's what you've done for the Girls in STEM initiative that you've done. And, it just blends in so well, everything that you just said. And, this has been a very meaningful conversation. I truly, truly enjoyed this. And
thank you.
and I think the women who are watching this will be inspired by you, because the way you started your journey, it's not as if you've been in this field for 10 years, 15 years,
For a
but
long time.
when the opportunity presented itself, how you really leveraged it, leaned in, showed up,
Yeah,
and respected the culture wherever you went. It is such a beautiful journey for everyone, in particular women, to look up to, because I think you can show up and you can educate a village, right?
right.
Yeah. No, this has been a
Thank you so much
fantastic
for
chat.
having me.
Of course, of
Thank you so
course.
much for having me. And I'm
Sure.
my journey is one that has been inspired by women, and that's why I want to give back to whatever community I'm in, so that we continue inspiring women, girls to start with, and then go on.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing my journey, and looking forward to many more journeys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and all your valuable thoughts. This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Shamunia. And I wish you a fantastic journey ahead, great success with whatever you're doing in Zambia and in Ghana and with Girls in STEM. I know they all will thrive under your leadership. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you, Padmini. Have a good evening.
You too.